Hello, hello, friends. It's Coach Miley Inoue with mytrainer.com. And today, for our nutrition talk, I kind of wanted to open up for discussion diet versus exercise. I am a strength and conditioning coach, so I am a little bit biased more towards strength and conditioning. But when we talk about diet versus exercise, I want you to go ahead and include in your thoughts any form of exercise that you enjoy. So it could be anything that you normally practice that has movement with it. So today I got to go meet with the South Overland Park Rotary Club, and I'm applying to be a member with them. And one of the funny parts of that was just in making conversation, and usually when people find out that I'm a trainer, there's different reactions to it, but I always love it when people joke around with me a little bit. So one of the guys there just slapped his belly and said, "Well, what can you do for me in one day?" And my immediate response, which I thought was pretty funny, was I just flexed my bicep at him a little bit and said, "Well, we could lift weights," and then just smiled at him real big. So my default answer to this question, diet versus exercise, is usually a lot different than some of my colleagues or even just people that I really follow a lot and learn a lot from. And I just kind of wanted to explain that a little bit more, because one of the most popular things for people to say is that it's 80% nutrition and it's 20% exercise, and that you can't outrun a bad diet and those kind of things. So while that may be that you can't outrun a bad diet, maybe that is true, but what I would say is those are just kind of, that's not actually my experience. So what I wanted to share with you is that what I think the big difference between you and me is my activity level. So and I just wanted to let you kind of mull over that a little bit, because a lot of the times when I'm in social situations, I might be going ahead and eating what other people are eating, which sometimes is surprising to people. And what I always like to point percent exercise, when the big difference between me and you, I always think, is a lot my activity level and just like ongoing activity level. So I want you to think about what it is actually for you and what have you experienced in the past. Because what I would love, like let's say that the guy that joked around with me today, let's say that guy that joked around with me today is super in love with different foods that maybe aren't a good idea. I would actually like to ignore that at first and actually start doing some strength training. And the reason for that is because the strength training really boosts your self-esteem, and that actually can be boosted in just one day. And I strongly believe that, because I think that if you go through a workout that you can do and your body feels good and it feels good the next day, and then you do another workout maybe the next week, your nervous system, within a couple weeks, you're going to start feeling stronger even though you didn't make any more muscle. And just because your nervous system is functioning more properly. So I honestly believe that once you start moving in whatever way that actually feels good to you, it doesn't have to be strength training. If you're not doing anything right now that you would consider healthy, if you're not exercising and you're not eating what you would consider healthy, I think that even within 30 minutes of doing activity that you could do that felt good to you, I think you would feel more good about yourself overall than you would feel if you just, ate good for one day. So I would actually like to just open it up and just see what your experience is. Because I'm not going to try to drop any scientific numbers on you for nutrition versus exercise, but I would just like you to think about maybe what you could start with, and if nutrition right now is your downfall, and you know it is, and you're really struggling with some eating things that aren't good, what if you didn't worry about that right now? And what if you just started to move? And what if once you started to move, you gained a little bit more self-esteem, and then maybe we looked at those areas in your nutrition later? Because I don't actually like to tackle the hardest things for people first. I don't like to go for the elephant in the room first. We can ignore the elephant in the room. We can ignore the super bad nutrition that everyone's talking to you about, and we can just focus on making you feel stronger, mental and physically. Because as soon as I promise you that as soon as you feel physically stronger, then you will be stronger overall mentally, and then maybe we can look at that nutrition stuff later. Okay? So again, I don't agree that you should totally 80% nutrition and 20% exercise, especially if that's not working for you. So if you're not doing anything right now, I would encourage you, if you're in Kansas City, it might get warmer the next couple days. If you've been cooped up in the house, I would actually like you to just get out and get a little bit of exercise and a little bit of stretching in. And I want you to just see for yourself, like, what makes you feel good. Is it watching your diet more, or is it getting out and moving? And if it's getting out and moving, I'd like you to get out and move, and then we can look at that nutrition stuff later. But again, let me know what you think. Thanks for listening.